Walk into any grocery store. You will see rows upon rows of clear plastic bottles filled with a golden liquid.
They sit there gleaming, labeled with words that make you feel safe. Words like heart healthy.
These bottles contain the cooking oils that replaced butter and lard in our kitchens 40 years ago.
We swapped the solid fats, believing we were scrubbing our arteries clean.
But what if I told you that this massive dietary shift was based on a scientific error?
What if the very oil you trust is actually the primary driver of the inflammation that destroys it?
Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, and sunflower oil are chemically unstable substances
That when heated or ingested, act like liquid rust inside your vascular system.
Butter is chemically stable. It does not react with oxygen. It does not turn rancid in your body.
But these vegetable oils oxidize rapidly. They break down into toxic byproducts that damage DNA.
The terrifying reality is that these oils are.
Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, hit that button.
Part 1. The Great Substitution.
In the early 20th century, people cooked with butter, lard, tallow.
And yet their arteries remained largely clear.
Then came the Industrial Revolution of food. Extract oil from seeds. Using high heat, pressure.
These oils were not naturally appetizing. They were gray and smelly.
So they had to be bleached, deodorized, and colored yellow to look like the butter people loved.
The diet heart hypothesis became the official government stance.
But did heart disease disappear? No. It exploded. And along with it came obesity, diabetes.
Part 2. The Chemistry of Stability.
Fats are chains of carbon atoms.
In a saturated fat, the carbon chain is fully saturated with hydrogen atoms. There are no gaps.
This makes the molecule straight, solid, and strong. It can withstand heat, light, and oxygen.
In a polyunsaturated fat, the carbon chain has missing hydrogen atoms. This creates double bonds or kinks.
These double bonds are chemically fragile. They are reactive. They are desperate to react with. Oxygen.
They react. They oxidize. Oxidation is the scientific word for rusting or rotting.
When you eat oxidized oil, you are eating millions of free radicals, acting like tiny terrorists.
The oil might look golden, but at a molecular level it is turning into a varnish that coats your insides.
Part 3. The Omega-6 Tsunami.
It is true that the human body needs a tiny amount of omega-6. It is an essential fatty acid.
Historically, our ancestors ate a ratio of about 1 to 1.
Today, the average senior consumes a ratio of 20 to 1.
Because omega-6 is the raw material your body uses to create inflammation.
Pro-inflammatory cytokines. These are the chemical messengers that tell your immune system to attack. Your body is in a state of chronic low-grade warfare. Your immune system is constantly attacking your blood vessels.
This chronic inflammation is what roughens the lining of your arteries.
It creates the scratches and lesions that cholesterol tries to patch.
So while vegetable oils might lower your LDL number, they are simultaneously setting fire to the artery wall.
This brings us to the most critical mechanism of all, the Trojan horse.
Part 4. The Trojan Horse, LDL.
LDL is just a transport boat. It carries energy.
When carrying stable saturated fat, it is resistant to oxidation. It bounces off the artery walls. But when you eat soybean and corn oil, your LDL boats are built out of unstable rotting wood. They encounter free radicals and oxidize instantly.
They become small, dense, and sticky. These oxidized LDL particles burrow into the endothelial lining and trigger the formation of foam cells. This is the start of the fatty streak that becomes the deadly plaque.
So the vegetable oil creates a Trojan horse. It makes your cholesterol highly susceptible to rusting.
Butter, on the other hand, increases the stability of the LDL particle, making it resistant to rust.
It gets worse. Wait. Specifically when oils are reused in restaurant fryers.
Part 5. The H&E toxin.
They break down into compounds called aldehydes. One of the most toxic is 4-HNE.
4-HNE is a mutagen. It damels DNA. It kills mitochondria.
When you consume 4-HNE, it is absorbed into your tissues.
It essentially acts like a fertilizer for plaque, causing smooth muscle cells to grow uncontrollably.
This compound is virtually absent in fats like butter, tallow, or coconut oil.
But a serving of French fries cooked in reheated vegetable oil is loaded with it.
We are ingesting a toxin that acts as a direct poison, accelerating the aging of arteries by decades. The damage is not limited to the heart. Part 6. The brain barrier breach.
The brain is the most fat-dense organ in the body.
Your brain cells are constantly rebuilding themselves, using the fats you provide.
If you provide them with stable fats, the neurons are robust and flexible.
But if you provide them with oxidized industrial seed oils, the brain cells become stiff and prone to inflammation. Neuroinflammation is the root cause of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Furthermore, the 4-HNE toxin crosses the blood-brain barrier.
It has been linked to the formation of amyloid beta plaques, the hallmark of Alzheimer's.
Seniors who consume high amounts of vegetable oils are statistically more likely to suffer from cognitive decline.
We are literally building our brains out of inferior materials.
You might be thinking, I'll just stop buying these. But that is only half the battle.
Part 7. The Restaurant Trap.
The vast majority of vegetable oil consumption for seniors comes from dining out.
Restaurants love these oils for one reason: cost. Soybean and canola oil are incredibly cheap.
Almost every restaurant uses these oils to cook, make dressings, and fry.
Even a healthy grilled salmon is almost certainly brushed with soybean oil to keep it from sticking.
The house dressing is likely 90% soybean oil. The oil in the fryer is particularly dangerous. Kept hot for 12 hours, reused for days.
You must become a detective. Ask for your food to be cooked in butter or plain olive oil.
Ask for olive oil and vinegar for your salad instead of the pre-made dressing.
How can a product that is so damaging be allowed to carry a heart-healthy label?
Part 8. The Label Lie. It comes down to a loophole. The FDA allows claims based on lowering total cholesterol.
Vegetable oils do lower LDL by forcing the liver to pull it out of the blood.
The Minnesota coronary experiment results were buried for 40 years.
The group eating corn oil lowered cholesterol, but for every drop, the risk of death increased.
This study proves that the metric we have been using is flawed. So let us talk about butter. Part 9, the butter redemption.
Butter has been vindicated by modern science, specifically grass-fed butter.
It is a complex food. It contains butyrate, vitamin A, and vitamin K2.
Vitamin K2 is the traffic cop that keeps calcium out of your arteries and puts it into your bones.
It makes food taste delicious, which improves satiety and prevents overeating.
So what should you eat? Part 10. The Safe Fat Protocol.
Here is the hierarchy of healthy fats.
Tier 1. The ancestral fats. Use them for heat.
Butter, ghee, tallow, coconut oil, and avocado oil. These are stable.
Tier 2, the raw fats. Healthy but should not be heated.
Extra virgin olive oil, macadamia nut oil, use on salads.
Tier 3. The fats to eliminate. Industrial seed oils.
Soybean, corn, canola. Remove these from your kitchen.
You might be wondering, how long until I am safe? Part 11. The Detox Timeline.
The Detox Timeline.
Omega-6 fats have a long half-life. It can take 2 years to fully replace the fat composition.
But the benefits start immediately, within weeks. Inflammation drops, brain fog lifts.
Within months, your blood pressure may stabilize.
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
To speed up the healing. Part 12, Omega-3, the balance.
Omega-3, the balance. Omega-3s compete with omega-6s, pushing the balance back toward healing.
Wild salmon, sardines, and high-quality fish oil.
Conclusion. Reclaiming the kitchen. The story of vegetable oil is a cautionary tale.
We thought we could engineer a better fat, but we created a slow toxin.
They are industrial machinery lubricants that have been marketed as food.
Pour them out.
Go to the store and buy a block of grass-fed butter, dark green olive oil.
Your arteries will thank you. Your brain will thank you.
Embrace the wisdom of the past, backed by the science of the present.
Now I would love to hear from you. Were you told to switch to vegetable oil years ago?
Share your struggles and victories in the comments below.
If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment with 1.
If not, type 0. I value your honest feedback.
And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Dedicated to protecting your brain, your heart, and your future.
Thank you for watching, and take care of yourself.